Hi, I'm Jennifer with Community Nights, and we are here to serve the community. Today I have Mr. Eric Hairston, Mr. Art Price, and Mr. Charles Holden from the Hampton-Newport News Alumni Foundation of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. And we are going to talk about what they do and how the COVID-19 crisis has impacted their organization. I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Chuck Holden to tell us a little bit about their organization.
Thank you, Jennifer. We're so glad to be with you this afternoon. And I'll just kind of give you a real quick overview of the chapter, which is the Hampton-Newport News Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, which was chartered back in 1945. And because of the contributions and the relationship that we have with the community, the chapter stood up the Kappa Achievement Foundation in April 1998, which provides a great vehicle for the community to be able to provide funding to support the programs. And the mission of the Achievement Foundation is to provide charitable services that enhance the quality of life for the community at large. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Art Price, who will talk about the Kappa Guide Right program and those other programs that support that, what we call for Kappa, our signature program.
Okay.
Brother Price.
Hello, Ms. Brown, how are you? Thank you so very, very much for the support that you have provided for us so far, coming from Community Nights. We have been working as part of the community here in Hampton, Newport News now with regard to the youth and our youth advocacy program since 1972, when I was assigned the responsibility of setting up a Kappa League chapter here on the peninsula. Now, Kappa League is the social implementation of Guide Right, as has been dictated by a national body. It started in 1922, and we had all types of recognition days and the like. But as it is now, we have a social implementation where we actually have Kappa League chapters set up all over the country. I'm very proud of the fact that when we started our chapter in 1972-73 timeframe, we were one of the first of 5 in the nation. And we have sustained our program since our official charter date on May 14, 1974, May 15, 1974, I should say. And since that day, we have been continuously operating, and we've started with a modest number of kids of like 14, 15 that continuously participated, but we've now grown to over 60 young men that actively participate in our program. It's a program of leadership, and we provide mentorship for a number of great parents. Many of our wonderful single parent moms and grandmoms look to us for help when raising their sons and grandsons. One of the things that we did, in light of the fact that we were unable to attract more than 14, 15 kids a year, was to implement it back in 1993-94 timeframe, an athletic association. We realized we had to meet the kids where they were. They didn't like coming to school again on Sundays, what they were telling me, with regards to the activities that we had for Kappa League. We started the athletic association with football, and for over 25 years now, we've been able to start kids off at age 6 and actually have kids from age 6 through 18 as part of our program. And we've been able to use that athletic program as a feeder for the Kappa League. And this is why we now have over 60 young men in one of the largest Kappa League chapters in the country. And we're so very, very thankful that many of the things that we do with both the Athletic Association and with the Kappa League are as a result of contributions from some great members of the fraternity, from some fundraising efforts, and then from great charitable organizations like Community Nights.
Well, it's a program we're so happy to support. So after kids finish up in the Guide Right program, I know I've had the honor of attending a very special dinner, luncheon that happens. Yeah. And I think there's something Mr. Eric Hairston wants to talk about there's this amazing event that happens at the end of the school year where so many of our graduating seniors from your program receive scholarships. Would you like to talk about that and share that with us?
Yes. Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Brown, for your continued support with Community Nights. So for a number of years now, I have been chairing the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated scholarships. Right now, we give 11 scholarships annually, totaling over $11,000 to students on the peninsula schools, Hampton, Newport News, York County, Westbury, James City County. So schools on the peninsula for a number of years, and Art Price can probably tell you the years. I know I've been chairing it probably for the last 10 years, but I know it's been existing longer than 10 years. But we're excited every year to send out an application as early as November timeframe to all the area school districts. Normally I send them to the school counseling chair of those school districts, and they get them out to the school counselors who get them out to the kids. And this year, we had a deadline of March, and because of COVID-19, we did extend that deadline for another month. And so I'm pleased to say that we have over 30 plus scholarship applications to be awarded. We have a meeting scheduled May 12th, I'm sorry, to award our 11th scholarship. And again, we thank Community Nights for your support, because again, we will be awarding someone a Community Night scholarship. So we thank you for all you do.
Something we're really proud of. But what other ways has the COVID-19 crisis impacted the people that you serve and also your organization as a whole?
Ms. Brown?
Yeah.
That activity that you speak of is what we look forward to annually as part of our national program of activities. It's called College Signing Day. Mm-hmm. And we put that program on because oftentimes you see we put so much emphasis on athletics. Whenever a young man signs to go off to college, he has all of his family around and he signs a letter of commitment to go off and play football. Well, we put the same emphasis on academics. So every year, and you've been there, we have all of our seniors to sit at the table and they sign a letter of commitment, committing themselves to doing good when they get to college or wherever they go. Some of our kids go into the military, some go to the workforce, but that agreement that they sign is they commit themselves to doing well no matter what. And because of this virus, we won't be able to do that this year. We have 6 seniors now that we're now trying to figure out how we're going to do something for them. We might wind up doing a virtual type of award program for them. And if in fact we're allowed to have our celebration, you know, if the virus notwithstanding, for the chapter 75th anniversary, we will probably use that as an opportunity, or we use that opportunity to provide them with those scholarships and with the little gifts that we would normally give them in recognition for them having become seniors.
Well, and the other thing that really impresses me about that particular event is all the other young men who come and are there celebrating and watching the achievements of those ahead of them, which, you know, I always enjoy getting to chat with those young men and, you know, talking about their journey and where they're at and the challenges that they face, because it means something to them to watch the men at the table who have completed their high school journey and are going off to something very exciting, whether it's to college, to a promising career, to a military assignment. You know, they all have goals that they've set out for themselves. They have a plan and they're in place achieving it. And it is amazing, you know, to see the young people aspiring with plans and goals and the mentorship that comes from that.
Yeah, it's meant to be an incentive for those other kids. We have a number of middle school kids. We want them thinking college from the time they get to 6th grade. Mm-hmm. And this provides an incentive for them to look forward to. I don't know whether you notice, many of the kids who are there wearing regular striped neckties. Well, the seniors all wear bow ties. So we look for them to look forward to being able to be presented their bow ties such that they can walk around for 1 year being special because of the fact that they're Kappa League seniors.
Yep. So when we look at how this has impacted the folks that you serve, I'm sure it goes beyond just an event. I'm sure it's much deeper. Do any of you want to talk about how you guys are addressing that, or any of the other ways that this is impacting you all?
Well, I know I keep running my mouth, but I'm about to go crazy with my kids who are calling. We have, for football, we would normally have started April 1st with conditioning. Now, it's for the kids, it's a lot of fun, but parents, it provides them an opportunity. Kids get home from school, they get an opportunity to come out for 2 hours every day with us to work out. This is after they've done their homework, we hope. And we provide them leadership, and they're with men. Many of those guys many of the young men don't have the privilege of having men to instruct them as to what to do and be good role models for them. That's been taken away from us now. We are hoping that we'll get started in July, depending on how the pandemic runs, but much of our programming has been put on hold as a result of this pandemic.
Okay.
And I'd like to kind of follow up with what Art said in terms of the broader community. You know, part of our mission is to be able to interact with the community at large, and that is informing the community of what we do through our activities. Of course, those activities have been curtailed by COVID. And our fundraisers is another way that we interact with the community. We ask them to come out to have a good time, but we also take those opportunities to talk to them about what we do and our appreciation for the support that they give to our program. So that has had an impact as well. We're trying to do as much in terms of internal operations through social platforms like this, but as you know, that still has its limits in terms of being able to have that warm face-to-face meeting. So we do what we can through these kinds of platforms, but it's not the same.
And this is one of the things we're asking all the groups we're talking to. We have a lot of folks who are at home who want to be doing something really positive and constructive with their time, and they're looking for good ways to give back. So we're asking everybody, all of our nonprofits that we work with, if you have ways that they can engage with you from home to contribute to whether it's in a monetary way of a donation, but even more importantly, whether they can reach out to the people that you serve through a platform like this with just checking in, assisting with homework for the children that you serve, you know, just different ways as we all get a little more creative. If you have anything like that set up, any way they can reach out to you to assist you, because now that they've learned about your program, they've become passionate about it, which is what we're hoping will happen. So just anything that you know of that folks that are sitting at home because they can't go out and are now looking for ways to give back with their time.
Well, you know, just as an example, this morning, I have a student that I've kind of tracked all the way through college, and we had what we call a fireside chat session this morning over Zoom, to where she's sitting up at Richmond in her dorm room, kind of sulking because they can't go through graduation because of the COVID. And, you know, I think I kind of shined a little light on her this morning, you know, to pep her up a little bit about, you know, what she's doing, how she's going about it, and give a little bit of guidance in terms of her next step. So these platforms do lend themselves to reaching out to be able to do something. So I fully agree with you.
So if there's any way, if somebody wants to engage with you guys to share suggestions or, you know, find a way to help, how would they get in touch with you?
You can probably have them reach out to me, and based on what their interest is, I will point them to the right person, either within the chapter or within the foundation.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we will make sure that we get your email available to everybody. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us today.
Thank you.
It's been a
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. We can't thank you enough. And when we get that college signing day set up again, you'll be one of the first that we invite, believe me.
Thank you so very much.
Okay.